Joining us is Michael Dunne, President of Dunne Co, investment advisory, specializing in the Asian car markets. Michael, good morning to you. First of all, what do you think is going to happen this week? Are they going to is Mr. Toyoda going to be a duck in a shooting gallery, waiting for lobs coming from all these lawmakers who want answers right now?
Yeah, he's going to get grilled. There's no question about it. Let's put this into context a little bit, Bernie. Toyota isn't any auto company. It's been the king of the hill for so long. Customers love the products. The competitors fear Toyota. Many books have been written about how well this company does on quality. And suddenly it's like a heavyweight contender. No, a champion who's hit the canvas for the first time. He's stunned. How am I supposed to respond to this? I'm being attacked. I'm on the canvas. I'm down. What do I do?
What does he do then? I mean, what does he do? He's not going to rescue the sterling reputation they once had. There will be doubts out there. It took Audi years and years to recover from the Audi 5000 unintended acceleration issue back in the 80s. Presumably, this will take years to unravel.
That's right. When it comes to acceleration and braking, those are the kinds of things that really frighten consumers. Toyota's got to get out there this week and say, mea culpa, we've made mistakes, this is not our character, we want to make right, and we want to make right immediately. We're coming clean, and we're going to come back. The question is, will they come back as another competitor, or will they come back to once again dominate the industry as they've done for the last 10 years?
What happens to the landscape then? Toyota comes down a few notches. It's bruised and black, and it's got a certain convalescence period. What does this mean for the global car markets? I guess the Ford Fusion gets a little more pizzazz. GM gets a little more traction, a little more juice. The LaCrosse enjoys a few more sales in China. Maybe the local Chinese car makers, who in the past have talked about exporting to emerging markets and developed markets, maybe they get a little traction as a result.
That's right. Everybody looks better compared to Toyota today than they did a year ago. Even the Chinese can say, look, we aren't the best in quality, but the best in quality Toyota can make mistakes. We're getting better all the time. Is Toyota getting better? Maybe we can compete with them in the future. That's what the Chinese are talking about. Now, Toyota's going to be most nervous about two markets, the United States and China, which are the two biggest markets in the world, and the places where the consumers are the most merciless. Make a mistake with consumers in China, you're going to pay a penalty. Same thing in the United States. This is where Toyota makes money, and that's where they'll focus their energies to sort of recover their image as quickly as they can.
Let's focus on the PRC market for a second here. I mean, there are historical reasons why if a company with Japanese roots like Toyota, if they misstep, there are cultural reasons why the backlash could be more pronounced than in many other markets. I presume that's one reason that you cite the importance of the Chinese market. Also, you look at iconic cars like the Prius, right? I mean, you ask people, what do you think of when you think of hybrid? 9 times out of 10, they'll think Toyota Prius. The Chinese have fast-tracked their own progress in battery-operated cars and hybrid vehicles, the likes of BYD, for example, just to cite one example.
That's right. Prius does sell in China. It sells less than 1,000 units a year. It's mostly a token, a symbol of Toyota's contribution to society in China. But at the same time, Chinese government and companies are racing. They've set targets to sell 500,000 electric and hybrid cars by next year in China. So they have big ambitions. And from their point of view, they'd like to be able to surpass their neighbors in Japan sooner rather than later. Will there be an escalation in quality and a focus on the part of the Chinese car makers? I mean, is this an opening which they need to pounce on very, very quickly, like yesterday? That's right. Chinese can manufacture at very low cost. There's no doubt about that. What they haven't proven to the world is that they can deliver quality and reliability over a long period of time. That's still a big question mark. They've got to get that right. Toyota's missteps right now give them an opening, but by no means does it say China's ready to overtake Japan. We won't see Chinese companies competitive with Toyota, really competitive with Toyota, for at least 5 more years. They need to work on quality. They know that, and that's where their money's going today.
But they have aspirations to become huge exporters. You know, if you look back in history, Toyota needed to export, didn't they? There wasn't a lot of, you know, Cadillac didn't sell very well. It has never sold very well in Japan. So they had the domestic market already lock, stock, and barrel. Or it was their turf
already. I mean, in terms of building up the name of Japan Inc., they had to do that. Same for South Korea as well. You don't see many Buicks on the roads of Seoul or Busan. In the case of the Chinese, this is a car market where every player in the world is present. You get BMW to Mercedes-Benz to Bentley to Lamborghini to Porsche, even the Panamera is playing the streets of Peking nowadays. I mean, maybe the Chinese should focus at home rather than trying to sell outside. Maybe they need to dominate the domestic market before they think about anything else.
That's right. If they can prove themselves competitive at home, they will be competitive anywhere in the world. They had the advantage of a big home market, which Japan and Korea arguably didn't have, and they can play at home rather than an away game. If there are political fallouts, recalls, it's much better for that to happen at home than it is to happen overseas. That's a big advantage that the Chinese enjoy and one they'll want to exploit in the years to come.
Do you think Toyota comes out of this week ahead rather than behind, Michael? Best guess.
If they come out even, they'll be very happy.
All right. Michael, we've got some heavy-duty grilling to come. Just hope Mr. Toyota doesn't get the coals themselves. Michael Dunne, Dunne & Company, thanks for your time as usual.